This is your 1-minute warm-up for your Q&A mock final number 1 at 225 words per minute. Ready? Mrs. Mason, I believe that you are the respondent in this cause. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You are the former wife of James Trenton Mason?
Yes, sir.
And you obtained a divorce from him in 1969?
Yes, sir.
And subsequent to your obtaining the divorce, can you tell the court whether or not he remarried?
Yes, he did.
Was the person that he remarried the same person mentioned in your adultery case?
Yes, sir.
And to your knowledge, do he and his present wife continue to reside together as man and wife?
As far as I know.
Were you aware that she had children by a prior marriage?
Yes, sir.
And were you aware of the fact that he is supporting and educating those children?
Yes.
Now, you understand that he has brought this action to eliminate from the former order of the court the 18-year-old child who is deceased, having died in an automobile collision. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And also he is asking the court to eliminate the support for the 18-year-old child. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Is there any issue that you had one child who died as a result of injuries received in an automobile collision?
Is there an issue? No, that did happen.
That did happen. Okay, this is your Q&A mock final number 1 at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Jackson, Williams, Mrs. Morgan, Lincoln, Emery Road, Morgan, and Williams. Ready? What happened to your vehicle as a result of the collision to the rear of it? Did it stop, move forward, move to the side?
My car was accelerated forward.
Did it strike anything?
It was pushed into the truck in front of me.
Then what happened?
I saw my hood fly up, and that is all I remember. I was knocked unconscious.
What lane of the 2 southbound lanes was your vehicle in when it struck the Jackson vehicle?
The right-hand lane.
As you were proceeding south before the accident, when you were following the Jackson truck, was there any traffic in the lane to your left?
Not that I can recall.
As you looked in your rear view mirror during the event that you just described, did you see any other vehicles besides the truck that you referred to?
No, I didn't.
Now, the truck that you referred to as being behind you, the one that you saw in your rear view mirror, did you later find out that that truck was operated by a man by the name of Williams?
Yes.
At the time you were struck in the rear, you were going 2 to 4 miles an hour?
Yes.
Had you had any collisions with the Jackson vehicle or any other vehicle before the time you were struck in the rear?
No.
At the time when you were going 2 to 4 miles an hour and when you were struck, how far were you to the rear of the Jackson vehicle?
Just about 30 feet, 20 to 30 feet.
Were you continuing to slow down, or were you traveling along at 2 to 4 miles an hour?
I was continuing to slow down.
Was the Jackson vehicle stopped?
He was also stopping.
Was he stopped at the time that you were struck?
No.
He was moving along slowly, preparing to stop as far as you know?
Yes.
Was your foot on the brake?
Yes.
Then did the hood of your automobile fly up when you were struck by the vehicle in front of you?
No.
Your hood flew up when you struck the Jackson vehicle?
When I was struck from behind, I was thrown out of the seat of the car, thrown back.
To the rear?
Right.
Did you actually physically leave or go to the rear of the car?
My head hit the ceiling, and then I remember when I came down, then I saw the hood of my car fly up, and I was thrown forward, and my chin hit the steering wheel of the car, and I was cut under here.
Then you were rendered unconscious?
Yes.
Excuse me, did that blow to the chin occur at the time your car came in contact with the truck? Is that what you said?
When I was thrown. About the same time I saw the hood of my car fly up. That is about the same time I was thrown forward and my chin struck the steering wheel.
So in your recollection, the thing that caused you to become unconscious was the collision with the Jackson truck?
I believe so, yes.
Up to that point, you might have been flying around your car, but you were conscious.
Yes.
What lane were you in that you last recall? At your last instance of consciousness, which of the 2 southbound lanes were you in?
Well, when I came to, you mean?
Before you were rendered unconscious, yes.
I was still in the right lane.
Do you know how long you were unconscious?
No, I don't.
When you came to, where were you? Were you in your car or out of your car?
I was laying across the front seat of the car.
Where was your vehicle located with regard to the roadway?
It was in the median strip then.
Before the collision, did you ever see the automobile, which we later found to be operated by Mrs. Morgan?
No.
That automobile was a 2004 Lincoln. Before the collision, did you ever see that car?
No, I didn't.
Do you know anything about that car? Of your own knowledge and experience, do you know anything about that car being involved in the collision which you have just described?
No.
Now, when you regained consciousness in your automobile, was anyone else present?
I looked up and there were people working, trying to get the doors of the car open. I later found out that they were firemen.
After you regained consciousness, did you ever go back into unconsciousness?
No.
How long in total were you at the scene of the accident after the collision?
Oh, I would say until they got an emergency vehicle in there, between 10 and 15 minutes.
Now, during that 10 or 15 minutes, what did you do?
Well, they had taken me from my car and somebody put me in the cab of a tractor trailer where it was warm.
Now, during the time you were seated in the tractor trailer, did you have any conversations with anyone?
No.
Did you go from the tractor cab to the ambulance?
Well, they couldn't get an ambulance in. The fire department brought in a Jeep that took me out of there. They put me in the Jeep and the traffic had blocked up pretty bad. And then the Jeep took me along the median strip going the wrong way back to the Emery Road exit, and they had an ambulance waiting there.
Did anyone ride with you?
Just the driver, and I believe it was a fireman.
Have you talked to him since that time?
No.
Do you know of anyone besides Morgan, Williams, Jackson, and yourself who was a witness to this occurrence?
No, I don't.
Now, as you were traveling along before the accident, were you able to see the roadway to the front of the Jackson vehicle?
Yes.
Describe that cast for me.
The cast was from my ankle to my thigh.
Did it have a bend in it?
No, a straight cast.
When you left the hospital, were you in a wheelchair or crutches?
Neither one.
They had a foot pad on it. The cast had it, so you were able to walk on it?
Yes.
Did they prescribe a brace for your neck at the hospital?
No, at that time they didn't.
Did they wrap any other part of your body? I know you had a bandage on your chin and a cast on your leg. Was there anything else bandaged or braced?
No.
How did you get home?
I got home by cab. I called my home and no one was there, so I called a cab.
When was the next